You need to hear this if you're a human rights advocate. The situation in Gaza is dire, and the stories emerging from the region are nothing short of heartbreaking. The plight of detainees in Gaza is a stark reminder of the ongoing struggle for human rights and justice. Amnesty International has sounded an urgent alarm, demanding justice for Palestinians detained in Gaza. Their call to action is a plea for the world to pay attention and take a stand against the injustices being perpetrated. The organization has been tirelessly working to bring these issues to light, hoping to galvanize international support and intervention. These detainees, including women and children, are trapped under the unlawful combatants law, suffering without legal representation or basic human rights. The conditions they endure are appalling, with overcrowded cells and a complete lack of due process. Many of these individuals have been detained for years, without any formal charges or trials, living in a state of perpetual uncertainty and fear. Imagine being held indefinitely without a trial and subjected to unimaginable torture. The psychological and physical toll on these detainees is immense. Reports of beatings, electric shocks, and other forms of torture are common, painting a grim picture of their daily reality. The lack of medical care and the use of solitary confinement further exacerbate their suffering. The Seder Taman Military Field Hospital, shrouded in secrecy, is at the center of these allegations. This facility has become synonymous with the mistreatment of detainees, with numerous reports of abuse and neglect emerging from within its walls. The lack of transparency and oversight has allowed these practices to continue unchecked, raising serious concerns about the accountability of those in charge. Eyewitnesses report detainees shackled, blindfolded, and forced to undergo medical procedures without adequate pain relief. These procedures are often carried out without the detainees' consent, adding another layer of violation to their already dire situation. The use of such methods is a clear violation of international human rights standards and has been widely condemned by human rights organizations. The haunting testimonies from former detainees reveal a grim reality of physical and psychological abuse. These individuals speak of their experiences with a sense of despair and hopelessness, recounting the horrors they endured during their detention. Their stories are a powerful reminder of the urgent need for reform and accountability in the treatment of detainees. International law unequivocally condemns these acts as torture. The conventions and treaties that govern the treatment of detainees are clear in their prohibition of such practices. Yet, despite these legal protections, the reality on the ground remains starkly different, with widespread reports of abuse and mistreatment continuing to surface. Yet, the Israeli authorities stand firm, denying any wrongdoing. Official statements often dismiss the allegations as unfounded or politically motivated, creating a significant barrier to achieving justice for the detainees. This denial of responsibility only serves to perpetuate the cycle of abuse and impunity. The international community is demanding an independent investigation, urging for transparency and justice. Calls for an impartial inquiry into the treatment of detainees have been growing louder, with numerous countries and organizations joining the chorus. Such an investigation is crucial to uncovering the truth and holding those responsible accountable for their actions. Human rights organizations are relentless in their fight, advocating for the release of those arbitrarily detained and the closure of the controversial facility. Their efforts are driven by a commitment to justice and the belief that every individual deserves to be treated with dignity and respect. These organizations continue to raise awareness and push for meaningful change, despite the many challenges they face. The victims' stories must be heard, and accountability must prevail. These testimonies are a crucial part of the broader effort to bring about justice and reform. By sharing their experiences, the victims are helping to shine a light on the abuses they have suffered and ensuring that their voices are not silenced. Reflect on this. How much human dignity should be sacrificed in the name of conflict? The treatment of detainees in Gaza raises profound questions about the limits of acceptable behavior in times of war and conflict. It challenges us to consider the moral and ethical implications of our actions and to strive for a more just and humane world. The world must not turn a blind eye. The international community has a responsibility to stand up against these injustices and to support efforts to bring about change. By remaining silent, we become complicit in the suffering of others. Stand in solidarity with those enduring unimaginable suffering. Join the global movement for justice and human rights, and help to ensure that the voices of the detainees are heard and that their suffering is not in vain. Together, we can make a difference and work towards a future where such abuses are a thing of the past.